Previously, in the last chapter, Duke Bernadio was suspicious of Psyche's true motive for breaking the engagement with him. He then decided to put magical crows to spy on her. When he got into the carriage, Bernadia's power went on rampage. He had to consume special medicine to calm down. Afterwards, Bernadia went to see an ice wizard for more medicine, but the wizard was only available earliest with Psyche's appointment with her. Meanwhile, soldiers gathered for the important event. Today, Psyche will be dueling against one of the Psyche soldiers. Aiden stepped up and asked Psyche for a duel. The match to prove Psyche's abilities and use the training hall began. Contrary to the soldier's thoughts, Psyche won, and she earned the right in staying in training hall as she pleases. However, Isar was unhappy with this outcome. Later, Psyche went to see Duke Bernadia, who was looking for her. On the way, Psyche bumped into Lillian, who was very angry. Lillian was crying and had hatred directed towards Psyche. Lillian ran away and Bernadia told Psyche that he met Lillian just now. Continuing the story, Duke Bernadia has another purpose of seeing Psyche. It's to ask her about the ice wizard. He was suspicious of Psyche's intentions. Psyche tried to inquire of how did Bernadia know that she was going to meet Leah, the ice witch. Psyche's voice was cold, comprehending her reaction. Bernadia explained and hurriedly. Basically, the staff accidentally leaked that information to him. Psyche remembered that she told the Magic Association that she got along with Bernadia well, maybe that's why. Psyche then admitted that she will indeed meet Leah later to ask advice about northern monsters. Bernadia's expression on his face after she confessed the truth was distorted a bit. It was true that the monsters are weak to cold, and things change with having a moonstone. Now that things have come to this, Psyche thought it would be the right thing to reveal things. She told Bernadia that the monsters are weak against cold and light properties. It was the first time Bernadia heard about this, so he aggressively asked Psyche where did this came from. Psyche was taken aback by Bernadia's response. She didn't answer for a moment. Bernadia tried backing off as he realized what he had just done. Psyche told Bernadia that she saw the information in Psyche family's book but she can't share it. There were many dungeons within Psyche territory, and they keep records about them. It was an intellectual property that can't be easily shared, so Bernadia seemed to believe it. Psyche explained that monsters gain strength with fire magic. Therefore, one must use moonstone to hurt it. Moonstone is a mineral which accelerates the corrosion of iron, so it will be effective. Bernadia calculated the number of monthly moonstones available at once, recalling his moonstone mines. One could lower their temperature, which is why an ice mage is important. Psyche nodded at his words, but this will not work on high-leveled monsters. Bernadia looked seriously at Psyche, who was explaining the characteristics of a magician-type monster. He wrote the contract, but never did he expected highly of Psyche. Bernadia was grateful to Psyche for breaking off the engagement on her own, and even gave him information of the monsters. But he didn't understand what would she gain from this. Psyche kept on explaining, but Bernadia began to wonder sincerely why she wanted to break up their marriage. As soon as Psyche finished talking, Bernadia changed the subject quickly about the reason. Psyche wanted to cancel the engagement so badly might be because she loved somebody. It was the first time Bernadia had shown pure interest in Psyche, who in the past wasn't. Psyche calmly denied that she doesn't have someone. In fact, she just wants to leave Psyche family. Bernadia pushed further, but Psyche didn't specify her reason. Psyche wouldn't go against the family for that reason. If she gave up, she will just leave. That's all in it. Why did a person's personality change so much overnight? Bernadia can't seem to believe it. It was Psyche's family head who forced Psyche to be engaged, but she decided to go against it. Bernadia was very curious. He didn't believe Psyche's reason as personal reason. Psyche can't possibly tell Bernadia that she regressed and went back to the past. the Psyche who was desperate for his attention and craved the Psychke family recognition no longer exists. Standing in harmony with her hostile family, Bernadia realized that others did not notice her knowledge. For him, Psyche was a woman who gave him a very strange feeling that she was hiding something. Duke Bernadia wanted to find out what Psyche was hiding, so he asked for a favor. He asked Psyche to let him come along to the Magic Association tomorrow. Psyche agreed. There was no reason to decline since they have a contract now. Bernadia looked at the woman who answered expressionless. He was curious to know what she was thinking. And Psyche, who didn't understand him, whose attitude suddenly changed, decided to brush it off. Afterwards, she went back to her room and looked for the decaying freesia flower, but it was already cleaned. Thoughts came to Psyche. It must be an order from Iser. Thereafter, Psyche asked Melissa to bring the tea that she always drinks. Melissa replied that the tea was taken by Iser. Psyche had been drinking that tea for over a decade. Psyche responded that she will just check it herself. Although the tea seemed toxic considering that the flower died, Psyche didn't die, which was strange. From now on, if she saw suspicious signs, she must leave evidences. In fact, even if it was identified that the tea Iser always give was poisonous, nothing would change. One could easily tell how much poison they had accumulated in their body through asking the priest. In her previous life, Psyche believed that they care for her because they always bring her the tea. She will have to investigate this matter secretly, to not alert the culprit who poisoned her. Psyche didn't die because of the tea but the feeling of dizziness. When she drank it was very strong. It would disappear over time, and there will be no evidence that she was poisoned. Psyche was suspicious of every single thing that given to her, because it was all a scheme. She must get to the bottom of it no matter what. She should go to the temple soon to detoxify her body. With determination, Psyche closed her eyes. It was early in the morning the next day. Isolate banged his hands on his chest in frustration, because Psyche might find out Bernadia's weakness. Leah is addicted to revealing the Duke's secret. Whenever she's bored, Psyche might also find out about it. However, Duke Bernadia didn't seem to care that Psyche might take advantage of it. Isolate's face turned pale. He knew that his master isn't going to listen since he didn't spare him a glance. Still, Isolate reminded Duke Bernadia to be careful. Later, in the corner of the Magic Association lobby, Psyche was meeting Duke Bernadia to see the Ice Witch, Leah. As always, Bernadia greeted Psyche affectionately, pretending in public that they are real lovers. In front of the eyes of others, he was a perfect lover and fiancé, attractive and powerful. However, Psyche didn't want to go with the flow and only greeted him casually. Psyche can only look at him with her cold eyes, since she didn't have any feelings for him. They talked about Psyche's sword training on their way. Bernadia was curious about this because it seldom happens that a woman wields a sword willingly. Psyche then told Bernadia that the Psychke family didn't like that she is capable of using a sword. It could not be said that men and women were equal. It was a stereotype. Bernadia, too, wondered why do they hate Psyche wielding swords. Psychke was a family that is known for their swordsmanship, so gender roles shouldn't matter. It should have been a good thing that there's a Psychke woman that's very capable. Come to think of it, there was a reason not to be happy that a fake princess wields a sword in Psychke. That is if Psyche exceeds the talent of the heirs of the family. That must be the reason. Psyche's sword talent surpasses the heirs, even though she is only an adopted and a fake child. When his thoughts reached to that point, a voice awakened him to lead them inside. As they went inside, a girl, wearing cute pigtails with pink hair, who looked about 13 years old, welcomed them. Moreover, her tone was somewhat casual and rude, as if she was talking to a friend. The woman who looked like a child was the Ice Witch, Leah Colt. She was sitting behind a large reddish-brown desk with magic tools and various documents on her side. Bernadia snorted at the child's words, seemingly angry. Then, Leah noticed Psyche and beckoned friendly to her, who was standing still. Leah shook her hand in the air and summoned to chairs, telling them to sit. As she recognized Psyche, her green eyes twinkled as if they had discovered something interesting. Leah joked around that Bernadia was truly capable, because he managed to get a beautiful woman. Thereafter, Leah asked about the reason why Psyche wants to meet her. Psyche asked for advice on how to deal with the monster's death. Leah asked Bernadia about this. Bernadia, who was pointed out with a glance, responded that's why they are here together. Unlike her immature voice, Leah's eyes and attitude were completely adult, knowledgeable, and professional. Psyche, who was curious for any additional information, eagerly asked. However, she darkened her complexion with the following words. Leah demanded to be paid for the information. Psyche was taken aback. Bernadia took a step ahead. He said he knew this would happen, but he was annoyed. With a single smile, Leah took one of the parchment piled up on the desk and threw it to Bernadia. Psyche was amazed by Leah's telekinetic power. It seemed convenient. The map was the coordinates of an illegal auction house, held 2 days later outside the capital. Leah told them that the item is coming out this time and she wants them to bring it to her. In exchange for the information about ice magic, was a request to get that item. It was a request, but in reality, it was a threat that if they don't give what she wanted, she wouldn't answer them. Bernadia crumpled his face, but Psyche was intrigued. Having no choice, Bernadia asked what item would they need to retrieve. A necklace that stings someone with a poison, Keith's necklace, Leah explained. Suddenly, Psyche felt a chill. It was because of the word poisoning needle necklace which Leah uttered. Her hands trembled when she thought of the object that led her to death in her previous life. While they were having such a conversation, Psyche was gently pressing her chest and calming her surprise. Bernadia, who stopped talking, said quietly so that only Leah could hear him, the item seemed to be a top secret. Still, Psyche was distracted in her own thoughts. She thought it couldn't be possible, but she carefully started to wonder if it would be possible. That's why Psyche took the courage to ask about the characteristics of the poison necklace. Leah's eyes became round. Psyche Silkija doesn't seem to know this item. To find out that Psyche didn't really know about the necklace, Leah briefly explained. It's just a normal gold necklace, embedded in an emerald large enough to be rustic, she said. As soon as Leah explained, Psyche knew that it was the same necklace that brought her to death. Psyche breathed haplessly by the mention of the object that has the same features as that necklace. At the same time, Leah looked at her and became certain that Psyche had no knowledge about this. Leah was frustrated at Psyche and couldn't take her eyes off of her and expressed her anger through her body. She got too close at Psyche, making Psyche confused, as if Leah was trespassing through the other person's mind. She mumbled strange words. Thereafter, Leah looked towards Bernadia and asked him another strange question. Bernadia, who was mentioned, made an ugly expression at Leah's words. He seemed to not know what Leah is talking about. Psyche was also bewildered by Leah's words about Bernadia's power. Leah sighed out of frustration and held Psyche's hand, saying, "Why, Psyche doesn't know." Leah, who was muttering to herself, narrowed their distance and whispered in Psyche's ear. Leah then told Psyche that she was the person who had the powerful ability of the great Silkija all along. The word ability gave Psyche goosebumps. Psyche's face turned pitifully white. Leah kept whispering in Psyche's ears, but nothing was heard. Psyche's head was spinning at the discovery of her cursed ability. Psyche looked stunned and was shaken. She didn't believe it. Then, at some point, Psyche regained her senses and hurriedly stopped Leah's next words. Psyche mumbled her shaking lips, but she appeared as if she would fall on the ground at any moment. Psyche, while covering her mouth, began to tremble. She believed that what she has is a curse and not an ability. She vividly remembered her past when she was chained up, like a cold ball, and was locked in the dungeon. There will be chaos if anyone knew about her curse. Unexpectedly, Leah summoned a cup containing cold water with magic to calm Psyche down. Bernadia, who was staring at all the actions Psyche made, looked down towards his ring. The engagement ring was an artifact, so Bernadia wanted to find out what Psyche is feeling at the moment. He wanted to know the reason why Psyche changed all of a sudden. Bernadia's eyes folded mysteriously, which had already caught something interesting in his sight. After some time, Psyche began to calm down. That's the time that she also noticed the cup Leah was holding being handed to her. Psyche began to recall her questionable behavior and looked worried. She made up an excuse that she displayed an odd behavior because she had a headache. Since then, the meeting has been peaceful since Leah didn't bring up Psyche's curse anymore. Psyche still looked distracted by the information she didn't know if it was true or not. In exchange for bringing the Keith's necklace, Leah decided to hand over the ice magic formula. After all, they had a deal that they still need to fulfill. Leah, who was so brazen with her sarcastic remarks, immediately put restrictions. She told them to steal the poison necklace illegally, instead of bidding. Bernadia, who was about to swear again, suddenly paused with a bit of hesitation. Afterwards, Bernadia and Psyche left the wizard's room. Bernadia checked on Psyche's condition. Psyche staggered from time to time, but she still refused Bernadia's offer to take her home. "This is a curse. You mustn't let anyone know about this." Those words which came into her mind had conflicted feelings, and was alternately repeating. Bernadia did not take his eyes off his fiancée until she disappeared. The aide, who was in the carriage first, was nervous if Bernadia's weaknesses have been exposed. Duke Bernadia then ordered Isolette to find out if Lilian Silkija visited Vicendi's shrine recently. Isolette quickly recited the information he had. The situation was weird. Lilian was recognized as the real daughter of Silkija. Psyche was fake and adopted, so why would she have the ancient power of Silkija? Moreover, Psyche seemed to firmly believe that what she has is not a power but a curse instead. Bernadia had no evidence, but he started to piece the puzzle of Psyche's real identity. What could he have found out?
That's all, folks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting more videos about good reads you may like, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you soon.